Hi, and welcome to my short and sweet Christmas 2017 YouTube greetings and presentation. Just going to be looking pretty briefly at, first of all, some of the people who've really inspired me this year within the vegan community, and people who I would highly recommend that anybody listening, if you're not familiar with already, you may well want to familiarise yourself with their work because they are really inspirational. And then briefly, quick look at a few areas that are a little bit problematic. Perhaps we could do with addressing and either opening or indeed continuing a debate of around those areas during 2018. So before going any further, there's two people within the community that we've lost this year in particular that I wanted to just mention. First of all, our dear friend Andrew Tyler, who was the Director of Animal Aid for a number of years and passed away earlier this year following a long battle with some fairly debilitating illnesses. Andrew's book, My Life as an Animal, is out now. It's available from the Animal Aid shop, and I know a lot of us will be, be missing Andrew this year. Christmas, first Christmas we've been without Andrew, and I know especially extend my warm wishes to Andrew's partner Sarah and all friends at Animal Aid. Andrew was a beautiful, beautiful guy. Likewise, also sadly passed away this year, Tom Regan. Tom Regan was in many respects the person who first articulated in many respects sort of the whole case for animal rights, and I highly recommend that you look at Tom's work. Tom was a real amazing inspiration, and just a short look at some of his videos and stuff that survive, his TV appearances, demonstrate just what a compassionate and articulate, reasonable, calm person Tom was, and able to argue the case for rights for our animals so powerfully. These people are all alive, which is great, and it's great to be able to share you now sort of 9 people I think are really set the vegan world alight right now. Really, really inspirational. Of course, there's lots and lots and lots of other people who are also really inspirational who I'm not mentioning. Please don't feel left out. It's just, going to be pretty short and sweet, and just going to mention first of all Julie Gallatley from Viva, who is really doing some outstanding work, especially in 2017. Numerous campaigns, really strong, really powerful, really effective. And what I love about Julia is, she leads from the front. She's out there putting herself at risk, putting herself in the forefront, working tirelessly to put animals on the map and to put veganism on the map. And I think what the Viva team achieved, okay, they've got a lot of resources. I think what they've achieved is astounding this year. Julia especially, really inspirational. Likewise too, this fella here, Earthling Ed, really inspirational. He's out there again, he's front line, he's done some wonderful, wonderful work. He's inspired countless people, especially millennials, of course. Being a millennial himself, he's got this lovely, calm, but really clear, strong voice for animals. Really recommend you have a listen to Ed, and probably familiar with him. If not, familiarise yourself with him, and really inspiration for people to get up there too and be active. Julia Felice has come to the forefront in this year. She's a real strong voice, especially for vegans of colour. She's written a really, really good book that's just come out. It's available now on Sanctuary Publishing. And Julia's a really strong voice. She is really challenging some of the really clear racism within the vegan community. That breaks my heart to say it. Obviously, it's really clear there. It's really come to the forefront this year. There's a lot of work we've got to do. Julia's really doing it. A huge amount of respect for what Julie's achieving. And again, I heartily recommend that you do have a look at her book here. Have a read. You know, it's a really, really inspiring book. The whole VIP crew in Dublin is a group of activists now who've been out on the streets, like literally, you know, every weekend, out there all day, probably twice a week, just, you know, talking to people about veganism, really informative, really helpful, just kind of there on the street to talk. You know, they've helped so many people go vegan and stay vegan and discover more about veganism. And they're really inspirational, especially because, you know, like, they're volunteers and they're just out there, and anybody can do that work. Well, not anybody, but a lot of us can do that work. And, you know, I know that some of these people, like, they're getting up at 4 or 5 in the morning and they're travelling sort of 4 hours across country and staying all day, sometimes, well, quite often in the rain, talking to people about veganism and then going home again without barely any thanks, any gratitude. And like many volunteers, you know, probably really, sometimes probably feel that, you know, no one really appreciates them. It's like, yeah, people do, we appreciate you, you know, we think that the grassroots vegan volunteers, sort of the whole thing is really at the heart of this movement still, and really fueling the growth in veganism. And talking of volunteers, you know, this man here, Kevin White, who organises, you know, heads up the Midlands Vegan Campaign, and that's in its 10th year now. This year they've done something like 12 events in the West Midlands, including, of course, the West Midlands Vegan Festival. Something like 15,000 people through the doors in those 12 events, over half of them pre-vegans. So we're talking around about, you know, to put in the numbers, you know, something like 800 people a month are really getting a first-hand introduction to veganism through these events that Kevin and all his volunteer team do. A lot of respect for what he's doing. I hope he continues in 2018 with this astounding, powerful form of advocacy, which is, of course, the vegan events, which are going off in the UK at the rate of, I think we've got over 200 coming up in 2018, which is wonderful. Casey Taft, vegan publisher, is going to be over at some of our own events next year, VegFest. Casey continues to do really, really, really important advocacy. And on a personal note, you know, Casey's really helped me deal with some of the issues I've had to deal with on a sort of level of, you know, like family and veganism and stuff. And his book, especially Millennial Vegan, really helpful for anyone kind of dealing with like trauma, issues to do with, you know, veganism. And, you know, Casey's a real clear voice for veganism. He's a real clear voice for justice. He really understands veganism, and we're really lucky to have Casey as a voice within the global vegan community. Thrilled that he's going to be over probably twice next year, Bristol and then again London. So thanks, Casey, and all the vegan publishers. Quickly on to Caroline Bailey, who continues to do astoundingly good work behind the scenes, not only with her Animal Rights Zone Facebook group, which she continues to moderate really, really effectively, but also I know she does a lot of work behind the scenes to help people. And Caroline, this one's for you. There you go. Nice picture there. Blessings and abundance, and thank you, Caroline, and all those people like Caroline, you know, who work behind the scenes and in private to help advocates keep strong, keep clear, deal with some of the, you know, some of the challenges that we've got to do. So just coming on now to my last two that I'm going to kind of highlight. I was really lucky to be able to get to pick a number of speakers to come over for the London VegFest especially, and both these people came over, and I've got to say, I just, you know, kind of, you know, just, I'm in love with the pair of them. I think they're just amazing. Both of them have come with so much. Dr. Milton Mills came over, and he's just astounding. There's some fantastic clips of Dr. Mills at our show, just brilliant. And to have all that knowledge and all that understanding of how, you know, the body works, food works, etc., to be able to bring it to the table in a street fashion, you know, which means that millions of people can understand what he's on about. Dr. Mills, thank you for coming over, thank you for bringing, you know, so much to the table with your work, and only you trumped, as it were, oh goodness, I'm sorry, the one person who really took the stage though, Dr. Mills, was Brenda Sanders. And Brenda came over for the second year, and Brenda, I don't know, you just brought something really special with you. And last year I didn't get a chance to meet you, and this year I did, and it was the highlight of my event. You really brought so much good energy and so much inspiration to a lot of people. And what I really respect especially is not just yourself, but also your work you do with the Baltimore Soulfest, which I've got a feeling is probably the one vegan event in the world that's probably as much, if not more fun than our own events, especially our Bristol event. So Brenda, thank you again for taking the trouble to come over. That completes my little roundup of a number of activists that I found particularly inspirational. Do again highly recommend that you do follow the work and listen to their voices and what they're writing about and talking about. But I don't want to just leave on that note, because I'm conscious of especially the words of Dr. Breeze Harper. I've been looking at Dr. Breeze's work. Again, highly recommend Dr. Breeze Harper. You know, I don't want to just be like all the positive stuff and all that kind of adulation and stuff, you know, because there's some really serious issues that are going on and underpin a lot of these people's work. The necessity for them to speak out and articulate. And I thought, you know, it's Christmas, I don't want to be mean-spirited, and I don't want to be controversial, I don't want to kind of dig people out, and I don't want to kind of, you know, call people out, as it were, but at the same time, you know, we cannot just cover up some of the stuff that's going on in our own communities within veganism. We need to address them. And so I'm just going to touch on a few. Try and do so politely, respectfully, humbly, but nevertheless clearly, and point to a few things and just say, you know what, maybe in 2018 we can think about some of these things and maybe we can learn to avoid them. Because when I think about, you know, things like the intersectional framework, you know, I mean, it's a bit like veganism in the sense that, look, you know, with veganism, we're never going to be able to solve, you know, the whole kind of thing ourselves. But the least we can do is be vegan ourselves and not harm animals wherever practicable and possible. With the whole intersectional framework, it's like, you know, look, we're not going to solve, or, you know, on our own all these massive problems, but, you know, we can take responsibility for not adding to other people's problems by inappropriate messaging, inappropriate language, careless, thoughtless, or downright disrespectful campaigning. And the vegan thing is rife. You know, come on, let's be honest. It's you know, we've seen some pretty shocking stuff, you know. And I don't want to dig anybody out, like individuals or anything, but, you know, we need to address these issues, you know. Or at least think about them, talk about them, and we can't just, you know, pretend they're not here, and you know, because they're damaging. And I think, you know, number one, you know, like, let's not, let's not co-opt hashtags, you know? Let's not co-opt a hashtag, like, you know, it undermines the power of that social justice message to kind of co-opt it and put a vegan message on. You know, I know we all want to make this vegan thing, of course we do, but let's not co-opt a hashtag because it's damaging and it puts people off. It's divisive. It's not necessary. So let's think about that, you know, before we co-opt hashtags. So there's no disrespect to people who have, but what I'm asking is, Let's listen to those people who find it really, really objectionable and offensive. Listen to the reasons why. And, you know, let's, in 2018, let's come on people, let's not co-opt hashtags. And let's listen to vegan voices of colour, voices of vegans of colour. And look at some of these Facebook groups, you know. Lone vegans, there's some lessons to be learned. One of the things I think, you know, with Lone vegans that showed is that, you know, one of the things I learned about is the need for equity. You know, if we're going to have equality, we need equity. Things aren't equal. When things are equal, yeah, sure, look, you know, what about this, what about that? But whilst things are not equal, and they're clearly not, you know, we need some equity here. This is why we need to, it's good to highlight, say, BAME restaurants and places eating, you know. We don't need to highlight white-run establishments like this because, you know, this BAME places, they're facing more problems. They're facing heightened racism. They're facing more problems through, you know, like councils and systemic racism, systemic oppression that, like, a lot of these white businesses don't necessarily face. So yes, we do need to provide some equity. You know, things are not equal. And it doesn't help to go, oh, but what about white people too? You know, it's like, yeah, look, of course, white people matter, you know. But, you know, we need some equity. So let's learn about that. Let's consider that. Let's not just shut people down and block them because, you know, there's, excuse me, you know. You know, so let's make sure our Facebook spaces are open for voices of different marginalised groups that are, you know, welcome to articulate if they find something problematical. Platforming speakers that are really offensive. You know, like, we really try not to do that at VegFest, you know, but there are some fairly, you know, really good events that are platforming, like, really, like, you know, offensive people, really, like, racist people, really sexist, really misogynistic, really misanthropic, really damaging people, you know. I'm not saying these people should be boycotted as such, but I just don't think we should platform people who are so deliberately offensive to so many people. You know, we've got to take responsibility for this, especially if you're an organiser. You know, some of the events, like, you know, have come in for a lot of criticism, and rightly so, and our own indeed, you know, and you know, it's up to people like myself and others to rise to the challenge. Try and make sure that we've got, you know, representative panels, speakers, lineups that not only represent and are more diverse and more inclusive, but also avoid, you know, putting down other people and other groups. And there's a few of them, you know. And then the last one I'm going to call out here really is this ridiculous, wow, right. I think it's ridiculous, really, to us vegans to promote this whole kind of vegetarian thing, you know. I don't think it's necessary, especially in the UK. Veganism is justice-based way of life that seeks to exclude the use of animals wherever practicable and possible, and that means all animals, for everything. So no, veganism is not a diet. It's a way of life that seeks to exclude the use of animals. So that includes what we use on our feet, and what we wear, and what we drink, and what we put on our skin, and, you know, what we do for entertainment. And yeah, it all matters. And I'm not saying it should be all or nothing, or all at once, or, you know, but basically veganism is a principle that's worth preserving, and it's worth promoting. And we don't need to promote less than veganism. Because if you look at veganuary, okay, you can see what happens when you promote veganism. People either go vegan or they reduce the meat and dairy, one or the other. About 2/3 vegan, 1/3 reduction. So why promote anything less than veganism? Thank you for listening, and greetings, peace, love, happiness to everybody. And I hope you have a really wonderful 2018. We'll be back for Brighton in March. We'll be back for Bristol at Ashley Gate in May. Hopefully City got promotion by then. And then of course London at the end of October with a new improved show with an even bigger area. Good luck to everybody promoting veganism, and let's just, you know, go vegan, stay vegan, touch vegan.